Howdy, folks. I'm a wizened wizard, wondrously waving worthy wands.
I'm Amber.
And here are more worthy wands for us to wave around and turn people into frogs, maybe? Newts? Who knows? You will in a second. Let's get started. That was a little ominous and threatening.
Ribbit, ribbit.
All right, folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Tracking My Daughter-in-Law's Period? Often when my son and daughter-in-law are supposed to see my husband and I, he arrives alone and tells us that his wife is on her period. While it didn't happen every time she was supposed to see us, it happened enough that we started making a calendar whenever she was on her period. Then, when my son saw us and gave us that ridiculous excuse again, we showed him the calendar and asked her if her period was really that irregular. He got mad and said it was weird and creepy for us to track that. I think that he's just mad that she got caught trying to get out of seeing us. All right, folks, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it is a little weird. I understand OP was just trying to catch them in a lie, but this is one of those situations where you accept that they're not telling the truth and you just play into it.
Yeah, I think you're probably right here. I think that it was probably not great for them to sit and try to track her period like this.
You know, I get that they thought that she was lying and they were trying to prove it, but
yeah.
If it had turned out that this was actually her cycle, that's going to be really uncomfortable to know that your in-laws were tracking your cycle.
Yeah. I think that it's an odd excuse for them to be using too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why not just say that she wasn't feeling well and didn't want to visit today, right?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter what her reasons are. If she doesn't want to see people, then she doesn't want to see people. And I think that it's unfortunate that they feel like they have to give maybe not a they have to lie about the reasons why she isn't interested in coming.
Well, and if OP's going to the point of tracking her cycle, so to speak, it makes you wonder if maybe OP's overbearing in other ways and pushing for them to always be there and whatnot.
Yeah. So I think that OP probably has deeper problems than just tracking the period at this point in time, because it doesn't feel like there's a environment of trust or even familiarity, here, right? I think this is just them probably pushing the wife around, and if she doesn't want to view them, there's maybe some deeper reasons for that. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Dinah Felice says, why do you keep telling me about your wife's menstrual cycle? There's nothing wrong with talking about it, of course, but it still feels weirdly intrusive to go into that level of detail when you could just say that she isn't feeling well, especially because it isn't necessary. She doesn't have to come if she doesn't want to. We love to see her, of course, but we understand that she might not want to see her in-laws as often as you want to see your parents. That's how a normal mother-in-law might respond to the unsolicited period information if they didn't want to just ignore it. It's incredibly bizarre to try and use that information to track her cycle. I can't decide if you were just trying to catch them in a lie or whether you are just unhealthily invested in other people's private parts. But either way, you're the jerk. And OP replies, I was just trying to catch them in a lie. And the jerk judger says, why? And OP replies, we just don't like being lied to. No one likes being lied to, right? Especially if they know the other person's lying, but...
Yeah, of course. But I feel like we all have that family member who's just always sick or something. And you know that it's probably just they don't want to be there. And that's their business.
All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, How do I, a 35-year-old female, tell my husband, a 44-year-old male, that we don't want to stand anymore when Aaron Judge is up to bat? I'm a 35-year-old female and my husband is a 44-year-old male and is a hardcore New York Yankees fan. He grew up in Brooklyn and has been since he was a child. We have been married for 3.5 years, but as of late, since Aaron Judge has been on the Yankees, he has a tradition that I'm starting to despise of him. The Dodgers and the Yankees are in the playoffs and we have a party over to watch the game. Whenever Aaron Judge gets to the plate, my husband will yell, all rise, as to think that he is funny to stand before the judge. It used to be just a joke, and standing was optional last season. Now he will pester me until not only I, but all the guests watching in our home stand. He even made the 3-year-old boy who was not watching the game stand. He took away the toy of the child until he stood and then gave it back to him and told him to hold it and stand. We are then required to stand until Aaron Judge's turn is over. He became upset with me yesterday when I didn't stand because I was on the toilet and told him that I wouldn't be holding my urine in for Aaron Judge. I enjoyed the strikeout that came after, but my husband isn't speaking to me all morning. How do I tell my husband that it's not that serious? Standing does not affect whether or not the baseball player will do well. I am worried as my father is coming over tomorrow to watch the game and he is disabled. He can stand, but not very well, and requires a walker to move. I probed around my husband to see if there would be an exception for him, and he told me absolutely not. Everyone stands for the judge. Please help me. All right, folks, what do you think?
I mean, I think it's time you start watching somewhere where your husband isn't. This is ridiculous, the level of which your husband is going to make everyone stand. Like, it's one thing to have this joke initially and let people opt in, but this has gotten to a point of ridiculousness. And he does not have that right to dictate what other people do.
Yeah, I mean, all I can say is, ugh, Yankees fans.
I mean, no, right?
I'm just teasing. I'm teasing. For any of the Yankees fans out there, I think that this has turned into an unhealthy obsession. And I think that he's becoming detached from reality with his expectations for people to actually stand in thinking that this is going to impact the game, because he psychologically thinks that if people don't stand for him, then it's going to actually impact the game, right?
Right. It went from a silly joke to now thinks that everyone standing is like, there's a psychology that like, and people have all kinds of rituals around baseball and other sports games to supposedly try and influence them, that are not actually affecting the game, but like superstitions, we all have them. So yeah, but it's not okay to dictate everyone else's behavior like that. And maybe some therapy would be helpful for him to work through why he is trying to make everyone do this.
Yeah, I just really feel bad for OP here because at this point in time, it's impacting people's quality of life. Why is he demanding that everyone in the house stand, even if they're not watching the television? Like, it's so weird that she was in the bathroom and he's like demanding that she stands up, right?
Well, yeah, that and like the little kids and everything. And like he does realize that his household is not the only people watching this game. Like he can't go and make everyone stand up.
Well, I mean, maybe the OP should tell him to go to the neighbor's house next time, too.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Or she can take her dad out to like, somewhere else where there's a TV or something, go watch it at like a sports bar or something.
Yeah.
Find another place to watch it and let hubby watch by himself.
No, I just meant send him around the neighborhood on a fetch quest to tell everyone in the neighborhood to stand up.
Oh, I thought you meant just like kick him out of the house so he can be someone else's problem.
Yeah. No, I meant all these other people aren't standing. You may as well go and make them stand now. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, What Would You Do? I am a 30-year-old female and my partner of 8 years, a 44-year-old male, lied to me about his real age by a lot. What would you do? I am a 30-year-old female and my partner of 8 years, a 44-year-old male, lied about his real age by a lot. This is ridiculous. I currently can't sleep because of this. Back in 2016, I met a guy and I fell in love with him. I'll call him Max. Max and I hit it off immediately and our relationship started very quickly. I was 21, almost 22 at the time. In the first week or two of seeing him, I asked him how old he was. And he's the kind of person who looks like he could be any age, really. It was hard to tell, which is why I asked. He avoided the question at first and then asked me, how old do I look? I guess somewhere around 28 to 30ish. He smiled and said yes, that I was right. I pushed for the exact age and he admitted that he was actually 36. He asked me if that was okay with me. My age gap allowance at the time had been 7 to 10 years. A 15-year age gap was a bit outside of my comfort, but I really, really liked him and we got along really great, so I just told him that it was okay for me. Though that would be the maximum age gap that I'm comfortable with. We went on to have a long-term loving relationship for 7-ish years. Currently, 2024, we are now going through a very long, drawn-out, heartbreaking breakup. It's complicated and I don't have time to get into all the details here. He thinks that I don't express my emotions well, and I think that he's manipulative and simply doesn't like it when I ever have a negative emotion. We have to remain living together for now, separate bedrooms and bathrooms. About a week ago, he left to go on a much needed trip, and I've been loving having the house to myself. But today I stumbled upon the truth. I'm not going to get into how I came upon it, but it was by accident. I came upon his birth date written on an official document. He had always been super secretive about official documents and made sure that I never saw them at all. Y'all, my jaw hit the floor when I read his birth year, 1970. He's literally 24 years older than me. He's older than my freaking mother. I literally am flabbergasted. I feel so, oh my goodness, I don't even know. I feel disgusted, honestly. I feel violated. The man lied to me just to get me and then continued to lie. Like he just never was going to tell me. He wasn't 36 when he met me at all. He was 46. And I was 22, barely out of the home. I am questioning reality right now. Like, what other secrets have I missed? Did he have a family? Is he a criminal? Like, what in the world? I feel totally blindsided by this and disillusioned, like I'm living in the Truman Show or something ridiculous. I feel like this can't possibly be real, but it is. I'll start looking at housing alternatives. I really just want to kick him out. I've emailed my therapist already, so don't worry. I'm going to wait until he's back home to confront him about it. How would you confront him? Has anyone else been in this kind of situation before? What did you do, and what happened when you confronted them? Edit. I'll update in a few weeks. Edit, he's currently 54, whereas I thought that he was 44, and he was 46 when we met. It's sorry if this was confusing. All right, folks, what do you think?
I mean, I understand why OP is very upset about this revelation. He did keep something from her that was very important information,
Yeah.
and that is not okay. And yeah, it seems like he never was thought to tell her. He was never going to tell her. You know, it had been years. I would not recommend confronting him with this information, at least not until you are safely out of like this entwined living situation. I think it's fine to just keep this information to yourself for now. It's probably the safest course of action.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand why she wants to confront him
Mm-hmm.
because she wants closure of some form or another. And if he is manipulative and whatnot, then I mean, I think that that's like, it just kind of is par for the course at this point in time, right? He probably saw OP as a easy person to manipulate,
Mm-hmm.
and just judging from the way he's kind of already started off the relationship manipulating her, right?
Yeah, well, and it's a known tactic, because younger people tend to be more impressionable and, less likely to notice when someone is manipulating them. And so he probably preyed on her for a reason. And yeah.
Is really not great, and I feel bad for OP, and I think that they're going to need the therapy to sit and work through this, and I think that it's going to really make it hard for them to trust other people in the future.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just unfortunate that she found out so late. And honestly, like, if you have to lie to someone about something, then it's not the right relationship for you, right? I mean, I think that that's not a good approach to a relationship.
Right. I mean, because there are age gap relationships that work out fine, but the people need to be open and honest from the get-go.
Mm-hmm.
If he thinks his age is going to be a turnoff for her, it might be, but that's her choice to make. It needs to be her choice to make.
Exactly. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Bahamut Neo says, sounds kind of ridiculous to me how you not only believed him to be 30 when he was 46, but that there were never any other indications. Like, have you met his parents or friends? Have you never filled out paperwork where he had to fill out his age? At the same time, it's like, in the general sense of things, why does it matter so much? You're breaking up. You say that he was manipulative, so I imagine a lot went on in the course of the relationship. Worse and more important things happened to make him lying about his age minor thing compared to the rest of the stuff. And OP replies, I guess the question is, how would you confront him? Like, should I write a letter? Should I sit down and say, is there anything you would like to tell me? Or just tell him that I know something and watch him squirm? Everything got put in my name, so I never saw his date of birth. He was incredibly secretive, always keeping things like his driver's license, etc. out of my view. He's estranged from most of his family, except for his mom, who lives in another state, and I've never met her. Yes, lots of other stuff went down, but him lying about his age is one of the first concrete lies that I'm able to clearly point out to him. It shows that he blatantly disregarded my boundaries right from the start of the relationship, all while saying that he loves and cares about me. But he knows lying and crossing my age boundary. He did it because he's selfish. He was 30, my current age, when I started school at age 5. I'm not okay with that. I mean, again, like, I think that OP is. I think of a first. What do you think of that first comment?
I mean, I first of all, like there are not a lot of times when you need to know your partner's date of birth. Like, yeah, when we filed our marriage certificate, like I saw your date of birth, but like if I hadn't been paying attention to the clerk and everything, I wouldn't have seen it.
Yeah. Well, and driver's licenses too, and stuff like that. I'm sure you would see those on those, but I mean, OP said that he's kept those away from her.
Right, like I've seen your date of birth because you're not secretive about it, but if you kept it in your wallet, your ID in your wallet all the time and always had your wallet on your person, then like it would be easy to enough to keep it from me.
Yeah, and there are a lot of documents where you could probably put a false birth date on it, and no one would be the wiser.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to do that with official government
No.
stuff, but there are probably a lot of places where you could just not put the right age and no one would say or care or anything like that, right? Like if you're filling out your Google account, no one's going to know your real age.
Yeah.
And our War 77 says, I just don't see a reason to confront him if you're already breaking up. I mean, if he tries to win you back, you can tell him that you discovered the truth about his lie, and it's always been an absolute no-go for you, which he knows, so you will never reconcile a relationship with him. But what would the end goal be of confronting him at this point? Maybe take a picture of the birth certificate in case you need to go to court over the possessions, but beyond that, you guys are already done. I mean, I know that some places taking a picture of a birth certificate could actually be illegal, so I don't know if I would recommend that for OP. Maybe they can take a picture of it, but I don't know if you can print it or something like that. I don't
No,
know.
but the government should have it on file. So if she is able to have some proof of his fake ages, so it's not actual government IDs or anything because
Hmm.
they're fake, and then use that in court because the government will know his real age.
Yeah. But what would the point of going to court be?
I don't know.
Yeah. And OP replies, honestly, there's been a dynamic where he always puts any problem back onto me somehow. And so confronting him on this would be a real clear way of showing him that my instincts are right and that he's a liar. But at the end of the day, like you said, the relationship is over anyways. I guess I want to confront him about it so that he thinks twice before doing it again. I mean, I don't think that will change his tactics.
Yeah, the problem is that he is a manipulative person, and abusers will do this intentionally. They know what they're doing. They don't care. Like
Hmm.
it's not like he's all it would maybe do is make him more sneaky.
Yeah. Um, I understand why OP wants to confront him.
Hmm.
I do. I think that OP wants to show him for once and for all that she's right and that he is a manipulative person. But she can have the satisfaction of knowing that she's right. And that's really, I think, the best part of this.
He's never going to validate you. Like even though you have absolute proof, he's going to find some way to twist it. It's going to be however you found this information is
Hmm.
your fault. Like,
Yeah.
oh, you shouldn't have XYZ. You're not going to get the satisfaction out of there of getting him, showing him that what he's done is wrong, or getting him to admit that he has manipulated you.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a really valuable point where he's going to turn it back on her about finding the age, right? He's going to blame her for that and call her, controlling and stuff like that. And, say, oh, you can't get over me, you're controlling, and blah, 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 blah. So, again, like, Darvo is really the way I see this going down.
Mm-hmm.
All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she has a joke from a joke book.
Why wasn't Cinderella a good soccer player?
Cinderella wasn't a very good soccer player because every time she went on the field, she would lose a shoe. And then, I mean, it's really hard to play soccer when you don't have any shoes on.
And that's a good one. She's always running away from the ball.
That actually makes sense. That makes sense a lot. And I have Earl Grey. Alright, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy wonderful Wednesday, Hump Day, Friday, Junior's Eve,
Halloween Eve.
Halloween Eve, even. And Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance, and please have it as though you were an ancient haunted tomb.
Ooh. If you expect me to stand for the judge, you got something else coming to you.
You know, don't try to make a ghost stand. They don't have any legs, they only have ectoplasma. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.